Jenelle Paluk, thank you for joining us for the STARS Critical Care on the Air Radiothon and speaking to the people that are actually in the air and doing this work. Where has Paramedic fit into your life? Why did you want to do this? What got you into it?
So I have been a paramedic now about 14 years. I started just kind of on a whim in university. I thought maybe I would go to med school and just saw the paramedic program. It was a much shorter time, of course, and thought I'll just try that, see if I like it. And I fell in love with it, and here I am. So I worked in rural Manitoba. I did some rural volunteer firefighting, and then I worked in the city of Winnipeg for about a decade, got my advanced care training through them, did some tactical paramedic work, and then now here I am with STARS, living the dream.
Amazing. The dream for you, but for some of us, this would seem like, oh my goodness, to get on that helicopter and know the situations we're going into. What do you think it is about you inside that makes this the dream for you?
I think that I am a helper, and that is just who I was born to be. This is kind of my calling, and that is why I fell in love with this job, and I could not imagine doing anything else in this world, actually.
Now, speaking of the world, you've been around the world putting what you know from this job into action, and I know that you were in Poland at one point, and you helped some Ukrainian refugees, actually. Tell us that story and how what you know from your experience here, how that helped you in that.
Yeah, so last year, around this time actually, I deployed to Poland at the border with Ukraine with a team called Canadian Medical Assistance Team. So it's a grassroots organization that often will go to natural disaster regions, and so this was the first time that they actually deployed to a war zone. So we were quite far away from the actual fighting, but what we were doing at the borders, we had a sort of clinic set up, and we would see refugees that were fleeing from home on the east side of the country. And so many of them had left home without any medications, hadn't seen their doctor in several weeks, lots of babies that hadn't had well baby checks, and we would see them through, make sure that everything was okay with blood pressures, blood glucose, stuff like that. Not a lot of real trauma in terms of physical, but lots of mental anguish, lots of separated families, so that's a difficult time for everybody there. And then we would also do mobile clinics into the country in Ukraine, so driving around to visit sites where lots of refugees were staying because they were displaced from their homes, and running clinics in there.
What an incredible experience, and in a situation you've never seen here at home.
Yeah, that's correct. It's completely different. The only thing I would say that is similar to the home front here is that Ukraine looks a lot like rural Manitoba. Hit close to home in that way because you're driving through the country that is under siege, essentially, and all of these folks are displaced, and it looks exactly like where you're from.
What keeps you going doing your paramedic work here for STARS? I mean, it's high stress. It has to be, and I'm sure there are some situations that you have seen that are hard to maybe get out of your head, or maybe some trips that didn't go as well as you hoped that they would. What brings you back and what keeps you well doing this?
So the best thing about working here is that the organization is very patient-centered. So what that means is that everything that we do focuses on the people that we serve. So the equipment that we get, the training that is provided to us, and all of the work that we do day to day is all focused on how we can help the next person and help them in the best way with no barriers. And so that is what keeps me coming back, is learning and helping the people out there and growing and just becoming better for the citizens of this province.
Because we can't be in your shoes. When the alarms go off and you know something has happened, what does that feel like, and what drives you to jump on that helicopter and just know that you are going to be able to make a difference?
What drives me is that I know I'm going to help somebody, and that somebody needs us today, and that we are able to get to many corners of this province in that machine and do the best job that we can do, and put our training to good use and put our team to really good use.
Jenelle, on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for what you do. And this Radiothon is all about raising money so that you can continue to do what you do. And that must mean a lot too, to know that you're only in the air because other Manitobans are helping you be there.
Yes, absolutely, and we thank them for all of their support.